All right, so we're going to do a lovely class today, getting into all of our different muscles and joints in our shoulders and in our hips. We're going to work on some strengthening in our legs and our arms, really just a full body class today. You'll need some blocks, so you can grab, if you have 2 blocks, perfect. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You could also use books or something else to get your hands off the floor. And grab a pillow, if you have a pillow or a blanket nearby, and that's all you need. So let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start grabbing your pillow or your blanket and putting it underneath your bum in a seated position, whatever seated position feels good to you. I'm gonna just being cross-legged. You can let your eyes slowly close, hands fall onto your knees or wherever is comfortable. Just start taking some nice deep breaths. Slowing down from wherever you have been today, whatever you've been doing. We'll try to land our minds and our bodies in the same space. Our minds are very good at multitasking and working on what happened earlier, what we need to do next. And that's great, that's okay. But we can work on bringing our minds and our bodies into the same space for a little bit. Nice, a couple more deep breaths here. And then you can slowly open your eyes. We're going to do some shoulder rolls. So you can just start moving your shoulders in whatever way feels good, working through those kinks. You might feel crunchy bits in your shoulders. We all probably do, at certain times at least. And you can go slow in those spots and try to not let them crunch. See if you can go slowly enough that they don't crunch. Nice. Okay, now lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze them back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, keeping your shoulders up. And then keeping that squeeze, 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 and lower your shoulders, squeezing still. And then bring your shoulder blades forward. And keep them forward and lift them up. Keep them up and pull them back. And keep going like that. Drop them down and forward. Forward and up. Pull back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, drop them down, and shake it out. Nice. All right, so now open your arms wide to the sides. Your fingertips and your thumbs are splayed apart. Let your shoulders be soft. Imagine like you're giving a tree a really big hug. Spreading your fingers. You can lift your arms up. You can drop your arms down. Notice where you feel that in your shoulders, in your arms, in your hands. You can pull your shoulder blades, squeeze your shoulder blades back behind you a little bit. And then bring them forward. Bring your hands forward. Open wide. Bring your hands forward. When you open wide, try not to let your ribs thrust forward like so, keeping them kind of tucked down. Arms forward. Open wide again, fingers splayed. Pull, squeeze your shoulder blades back, and then give yourself a bear hug. So I'm not going to do that the whole time because of the microphone here, but giving yourself that bear hug. you're going to twist to one side and then the other. So I'm going to just show. All right, so you're going to be doing that. You can go as slow as you want, and I'll show it again in a second here. But while you're doing that, you want this twist to be coming from your thoracic spine, your upper back versus your lower back. And you'll know that it is, you're getting it from your upper spine because you're not moving very much. You're not twisting a ton. So I'll show again. Nice, so you can keep doing that for a minute. Our upper back, our thoracic spine really needs a lot more attention. And we often twist from our lower back, and that can cause all sorts of pain and discomfort in our back, in our low back and our upper back. So working on getting some mobility into our upper spine is always a good plan. Okay, so you can let that go. Do a couple shoulder rolls. Squeeze that out. And then we're going to bring our legs out in front of us, if they're not already. And from here, just seeing if you can see me, I think we're good in frame. Just doing some internal and external rotations of your legs. So while we're doing this, make sure you're sitting up onto something, adjusting that as needed. We're gonna make sure that this movement is actually coming from the hip joint. So the femur bone sits into your hip socket like this, and we want that to be rotating in and out. So if I was just moving my feet, it would be a lot easier. My feet would just kind of be flopping in and out. You can try that to just kind of tell the difference. But instead, we're going to be moving, really thinking of your femur bone, which is your thigh bone here, rotating out and then squeezing in. Rotating out and squeezing in. Keep going like that for a minute. Starting to wake up all those little muscles around your hip joint. Your hips are going to love this. All right, and then on your next time with your internally rotated, with your feet pointing towards each other, stay there and squeeze just a little bit. Squeeze your hips just a little bit. If you cramp up, just let it go. All right, and then go to the external with your feet pointed out and squeeze your hips a little bit on this, in this position. You can go back and forth like that for a minute. This is really nice for your hips. It's like getting to that end range of motion, and it's kind of like scratching an itch that you can, that's hard to reach. Nice. Love it. Okay, great job. All right, from here, we are going to move to hands and knees, but I want you to try and get there without using your hands at first. So I'm gonna move my legs off to one side, not using my hands, lift up onto my knees like so. I'm gonna turn to the side here. I'm gonna move my blocks just out of the way. You don't need them at this moment. Coming into hands and knees, your hands are about shoulder width distance apart. Your fingers are spread, and we are going to push your hands into the floor. Imagine like you're pushing the floor away from you. While you're doing this, you'll feel your shoulder blades separate, move apart a little bit, a little rounding in your upper spine. We're turning on the muscles in our shoulders. Nice, and then just let that go and let your shoulder sink down. So you're just kind of relaxing into your shoulders, and notice how that feels. And then push your hands into the floor, pushing the floor away from you, activating around your shoulders again. Nice. And then drop. And we're going to do shoulder circles in hands and knees. So your hands are staying on the floor. And do your best to do shoulder circles in this position. So you can go as slow or as speedy as you'd like to, but imagine that you drop down and then you push the floor away from you. Drop down, push the floor away from you. And then you can reverse and go the other way. Nice. Keep doing that for a minute, really focusing on just what that feels like in your shoulder joints and what you're noticing or what's coming up as you do those rhomboid push-ups, those rhomboid shoulder circles. Lovely. All right, from here, we are going to you can stop doing your shoulder circles and push your hands into the ground, push the floor away from you, and you can stay here or come into plank. So one foot back, other foot back, still imagining like you're pushing the floor away from you. Nice deep breaths. Your heels are reaching towards the back of the room. Shoulder blades are moving away from each other. And then come back down. And then I'm actually going to turn to face you here. Now we're going to keep in your hands and knees position, your hands right where they are. Bring your elbows out to the sides. Hands are pushing firmly into the ground. Elbows out to the sides. Scoot back just a little bit here. Elbows out to the sides, and then we're gonna imagine there's resistance. You're gonna pull your elbows in towards your body, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Imagining you have a little clutch of money underneath your armpit. You don't want to let that money go. Squeezing in and straighten, elbows out, squeezing in, going slow, feeling that resistance. Activating all of those muscles around your armpit and your shoulder that are super important for everyday mobility and strength. Nice. Do that one again. Elbows out to the sides. Squeeze in. And hold for a second here. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Your arms are likely not fully straight when you're actively squeezing, and that's just fine. Nice. Okay, let that go. I'm just going to turn to the side again here. We're going to do a little forearm stretch. So coming to your hands and knees, but with your hands, your fingers. Oh, my kitty is coming to join us here. And this is Sybil. All right, so with your hands, your fingers pointing towards your body. This might be enough of a forearm stretch for you. You can tuck your toes behind you. And slowly start bringing your weight back over your heels and slowly lifting the heels of your hands off the ground. Your thumbs are spreading out towards the sides, peeling your hands off the mat slowly as you can. Nice. Shake it out, shake your wrists out. And let's do that one more time. Fingers facing you, hands back down onto the ground, and slowly lift your heels of your hand, stretching your thumbs out to the sides. Keep on lifting slowly, slowly, slowly. And then release. Nice. All right, shake your hands out if you need to do a little hip wiggle, whatever feels good. From here, we're actually going to come onto our knees, coming up, I want to say standing on our knees. That's not what I mean. You know what I mean. Just like this. And we're going to drop one hip down to the side. So slowly drop one hip down. And then without using your hands, come back onto your knees. Without using your hands, come down to the other side. Hip drops down to one side and the other. Working those muscles in your hips, using your core to bring yourself back up. Getting a nice stretch as we're doing it. Coming down to the next side, I'm down, my right hip is down on the ground. I'm gonna reach my right arm up and over. Feeling a nice stretch through your side body all the way down into those lovely hip joints and ligaments and muscles. Nice, coming back up to your knees, down to the other side. Left hip is down, left arm comes up and over. Nice, and now you can just kind of flow with this for a minute. So back onto your knees. Forgot to mention, if you want to use your pillow, if this hurts your knees in any ways, I have a double yoga mat, which helps my knees a lot, but also please use a pillow or a blanket or something underneath your knees. Often doesn't feel very good to just be on our knees like that. So keep going back and forth in those hip drops and just kind of getting a nice playful flow with it. Couple more on each side. If this is also too much for your hips to drop all the way to the ground, you could use your block and just build the floor up around you. So you could actually just not come down all the way, but still get some of that, a lot of that amazing work in your hips and your core. Okay, great. So from here, we're gonna put our blocks at the front of our mats. You can put them at the highest setting, as this would be the highest setting, medium setting, or lowest setting. I kind of like the medium setting. And we are gonna come with our hands on our blocks and just bring I'm gonna bring my right foot forward. Right foot forward, coming down into a low lunge. When we're in this lunge, we don't wanna just let everything sink and hang. So remembering that pushing the floor away from you, activating around your shoulders. Your right, you can stay down in that low lunge, but your right femur bone, your thigh bone, is kind of plugging back into the hip socket. Pushing your right foot into the ground. Nice. Now you can stay here, or you can tuck your back toes underneath your foot and push up. So your back leg is straight behind you. Your back heel is reaching the back of the room. Lovely. Pushing that foot, stay there, or pushing your foot into the ground, coming off into a high lunge. Pulling that femur bone behind you. Your hands can be on your hips. Your hands can be up overhead. Nice deep breaths. Lovely. From here, you can stay here for another few breaths, or you can drop that back knee down to the ground and push back up. Drop your back knee down to the ground, push back up. Drop, hold, push back up. Nice, great work. Bring hands back to the blocks. Knees down to the floor. Let's move our blocks to the side for a second and come down into a down dog. Now you can stay there in down dog. I really don't care what your down dog looks like as long as it feels good to you. There's a lot of nuance that can happen in down dog, but you can walk your legs out, pedal your feet. So you're pushing your heels, one heel down and then the other. Your hands can be wider than your yoga mat. They can be more in, really just finding what feels best in your body. We all have different bodies and different things going on. So being mindful of that. Okay, so back, you're in down dog. And we're gonna bring our other foot forward. My left foot forward. Gotta remember which side's which here. Left foot forward, I'm bringing my blocks back. I'm in that low lunge here. Again, plugging the femur bone back into the hip socket, pushing the floor away from you so you're not just sinking into your shoulders. Great. Tuck your toes behind you, lift your back leg. You can stay in that first position, or if you want to go to the next lunge, lift and straighten that back leg. Your right heel is pulling towards the back of the room. That left thigh bone, femur bone is still plugging into the hip socket. Stay here or lift off the ground, pushing that foot into the ground. Finding your balance and finding that strength in your leg, your front leg, pulling back, pushing through the floor. Hands wherever you'd like them. Stay here, or you can do those leg drops, dropping one knee down, your back knee down and up, back knee down and up. Your back knee does not need to reach the floor. It could just sink down just a little bit. Lovely. All right, coming back, hands down to the mat, coming into down dog or child's pose for a moment. Child's pose, I can show. I like to have some blocks with child's pose, so keeping my hands on the blocks and coming down like this. Really just however feels comfortable to you. Another breath there. And then wherever you are, we're going to come back into that forearm stretch. So hands down on the ground, fingertips facing forward, fingertips facing towards you, thumbs out to the sides, and slowly peel your hands off the ground. Fingertips are the last to come up, reaching your thumbs out to the sides. Nice, shake it out. Our wrists get a lot of work in yoga and can hurt and not feel very good. Let's do that one more time. Hands down to the ground, facing forward, fingers facing towards you, and slowly peel them off. Great. Okay, from here, you can come up onto your knees again and drop down to one side. This time, we're going to bring our legs out into 90-90 positions. So in 90-90-ish, we don't need this to be exact math here. So meaning each leg is bent in a 90-ish degree. So this is kind of what that looks like here. So let's just go back and forth here. So switching to the other side, 90-90 on the other side. Great. Back, you can have your hands back behind you. You can play around a little too of where this feels really good for you. Leaning back, switch sides, lean back, lean forward. All right, and then coming to face your right side, your right leg here. We're actually gonna bend over. We're gonna hinge at our hips and bend over your leg, your right leg. You do not have to come very far. Just where it feels like a really nice stretch in that right side. Good. And then coming to the other side. 90-90 on the other side. Hinging at your hips and leaning over your left leg. Good. If you want, you can bring your arms into this, kind of cartwheel your arms over. We're just going to go back and forth at your own pace here. Leaning over one leg, cartwheeling arms over, leaning over the other. Whoop. Nice. Flexing your feet when you do this can help protect your knee. You don't need to flex super hard, but just keeping a little bit of flex in your foot. Good. All right, one more time on each side. And then from here, you can bring both legs out in front of you, and you can grab one of your blocks. We're going to slowly roll down to our backs. So going as slow as you can. Arms out in front of you, coming down, just inching down, using your core to make this go as slow as possible. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Don't let your body just flop to the ground if you can. Ah, nice. And just coming here to lay and notice what your body's feeling at the moment. All right, now grab one of those blocks. We're going to lift your legs up to the sky. Grab your block and place it in between your knees. So I will turn to face the camera here. Your block is between your knees. If you want a pillow under your head, please do so. At least play with that and see what that feels like. So block between your knees like this, and we're going to internally and externally rotate our legs like we did at the beginning of class. Remembering to keep that movement from that hip socket, that hip joint. Your femur is rotating in your hip socket, in and out. Now try and actively squeeze that block together. Squeeze your legs together so you're squeezing your block. Keeping that squeeze, internally and externally rotating your legs. Whew, nice work. Okay. Let your feet down. Take a second. You can have your knees together, your feet apart. Let that movement sink in for a second. Great. And then legs back up. This time put your block in between your calves. Again, squeezing your legs together, imagining they're zipping together. And then internally and externally rotating with the block between your calves. Squeezing together the whole time. This is a ton of work in our hips, a ton of work in our legs, a ton of work in our core. It's a really amazing move. If this is too much for you, for any reason, you can try this with your legs actually against the wall. So that can help alleviate any issues you're having, maybe in your hamstrings or your hips. Just having your feet against the wall. You can also do it without the block if that's just too much, or you can do this on the floor like we did in the beginning of class with your legs on the floor. Okay, great. Let's let that down. Whew. Knees together, feet apart. Couple deep breaths. Okay, now one more. Legs back up. The block between your feet. So you might need to move it around a little bit to get it in the right spot. It's a little awkward, this one. We're gonna squeeze the block with our feet this time. And then external and internal rotation, keeping that squeeze as best as you can. You're probably shaking. You're feeling it. Such good work for our bodies, for our hips. They're going to be really thankful after this, even though they might be not as thankful right now. Okay, woo, let the block go. Legs down. Windshield your wiper. Drop your legs, your knees off to one side, and then drop them to the other side. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Good. All right, one more pose before we rest in Shavasana. We're going to do a bridge. We're actually going to put our hands on our butts, and we're going to, there's the subgluteal crease here. So kind of where your butt meets your thighs. Just have your hands here. Push your feet into the ground and feel that muscle where that crease is kick on while you do this. Pushing your feet into the ground, feeling like your heels are dragging towards your body without actually dragging them towards your body. That muscle is kicked on. Nice. Stay here, or you can lift one leg up, pushing your left foot into the ground. Right leg comes up. One-legged bridge. And back down. Pushing your right heel, your right foot into the ground, activating that subgluteal crease muscle there. Lifting your left leg up. Good. And let it down. And then slowly lower back down. If there's any other movement you want to take right now before we have a couple minutes in Shavasana, please do so. Rock side to side, legs into the chest, whatever feels nice for you. And then when you're ready, bringing your feet, your legs down to the ground. Your arms can be at your sides or on your belly. Just get into a comfortable position, making sure you've got something under your head, pillow or blanket. Just take a few moments and check in with your body. Yeah, it's an art to listen to what our body is saying, what our body's needing. Sometimes we just can't connect. We can't hear what our body's trying to say, but something's just not quite right. And just taking this quiet time with yourself to breathe, to be still. Sending your breath all the way down your body. Imagine your breath is going down through your hips, your thighs, your knees and your calves, all the way down to your feet. And then let your breath move up through your arms, down to your hands. Feel your breath rise and fall in your chest. Relax the muscles in your face. Soften your brow. Soften your jaw. Soften your scalp. Taking a few more breaths and noticing if there's any areas that are gripping or tightening. Try to let them sink into the floor. Let them soften. And then when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes. And come back into a seated position. Lovely. So thanks so much for being with me through this practice, and I'm hoping your body is feeling lovely. Have a great day.